Welcome to Tarot Q&A Tuesday, special edition with Aura-Soma, Brenda Stanford.
Hi.
Here we are in Auckland, bringing you a double whammy today. You get your question asked twice, two different ways. The vibe of colour therapy and the beautiful tarot. We have a couple of pre-sent in questions, but we welcome some live questions as well. Now, we're going to kick off with something that's already been sent in, and then we'll talk about the collective consciousness card. That's the order of events today. The first question we have up is for Tina. I think I'm finally ready to meet someone. Is there someone out there for me? And if so, will I make the same mistakes as the last 3 times? Well, before I begin even talking about this, I've got to put my pennyworth in, because at the end of the day, there is actually someone out there for all of us, really. I believe we have the opportunity to have everything our heart desires, and our soul is obviously matching with love vibration. Therefore, if we are prepared and ready to have that romantic partner, that person is in our sphere. It's whether or not we are in a receptive mode to receive that person, that love, that whatever the relationship entails. Therefore, all those filters and those blocks and those old beliefs that we put in the way are really the only thing blocking us from getting the flow of anything that our heart desires, ultimately. That's my pennyworth, but we're going to ask the tarot, see whether that actually has a different... So the first question is, well, should we ask, is there someone out there for you? All right, we're going to go with the obvious one, even though, sorry. Should I really be putting my pennyworth in? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, Brenda. Right. Is there someone out there for Tina? So scared to look at this now. Oh, and yes, we do have a positive yes. Not only a positive yes, but he is absolutely settled, potentially loaded, and really ready to embrace love in his life as well. It feels, he's the King of Pentacles, so it feels like he's sitting pretty in his world, one thing missing. Okay, so he's set himself up, but perhaps he's actually focused on his career and ticking all the boxes of human life. He may have missed the point about his heartfelt connections. He feels like finance has been his focus, and for that reason, he's fortunate to be sitting pretty, got his kind of, what do you call that, empire. Yet, I'm sensing he's feeling a little bit of a lack, like a hole in his life, like, I've got here, I've made it, I've done it, but he's not fulfilled because he realizes he needs that connection. I've got a great big yes. Tina, what do you have?
Wow, that's pretty exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, when Tina said, is there someone for me? Well, of course, there's multiple people for everybody.
Yes.
And it's also depends on what you're willing to settle on. We can all settle for something a little bit less, but...
A great point.
And not being too picky might be the idea. But, yeah, just exciting and... lots of opportunities, and if your heart's starting to feel open a bit more, then more times you got your groove back, people start noticing you. And
that's the thing, the energy we ooze is what we draw back, right? When we are radiating our light, we are attractive to other people. My question though, Brenda, is how can Tina help to open her heart up to love again using colour therapy, or even just what would be the simple Aura-Soma helpful tip?
Yeah, well, see, Vicky Wall, the founder of Aura-Soma, always would say, fill your cup up, or your teacup up with, which is your vessel, yourself, and let it overflow to the world. So the first thing you got to do is still keep investing in you.
Self-love.
Still keeping that self-love thing going. And then go out there as open-hearted as you can be. Out into the world and shining your light.
Do you know what I feel for Tina though when I say that? Because I know a little bit about Aura-Soma, and I'm about to learn a whole lot more in Brenda's course that's coming up. I feel Lady Nada.
Yeah, anything that's pink, any of the pink products, there's some beautiful pink
So Lady Nada is it a quintessence?
Yeah.
It's a quintessence that you can either use in an auric process or a air
Fiona's
conditioner.
Favourite sprays.
Yes,
This
I
is-
love
this
spraying
is
these
pink.
sprays. And the pink is obviously related to the heart and the warm fuzzies and the softness and the nurturing and the self-compassion, all those real feminine qualities, compassion for the self first and then extend to others, a bit like the teacup example.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Keep
reckon that,
investing in yourself.
yes, yes.
And get your mojo back on and sort of get out there and, yeah.
Sounds good, sounds good. We're going to roll on. We're going to talk.
And the second part of the question.
Oh, well, I felt we kind of answered that. The second part was, am I going to repeat the same question, the same issues 3 times over? Is that what she asked?
Something like that, yeah.
Well, that's a yes. We'll go for the yes, no. Or shall we say, is there any blocks to it flowing? I just want a yes, no. Have you done enough personal work on yourself to be ready for a more dynamic, magnificent, extraordinary relationship? Yes, you have. And not only that, we've now got the wedding card. So this is a cause for celebration. This card is all about celebrating the little things in life and really making a big deal about little reasons to celebrate. Like celebrate your first month, celebrate your friend coming to stay. This is a definite yes card, and it's all about being a celebration of yourself as well, knowing that you are a unique person and worthy of celebrating just because you exist. And that might sound over the top. However, people are hiding underneath their own sort of self-doubt or insecurities, and that's kind of like they're going around a little bit hunched. And if you open yourself up, once again, celebrating yourself, shining your light. Does that make sense, guys?
And you know what you said there makes me think of green. Pink is really red with more light in it. So it's, and the colour opposite to that is green. And green is the heart chakra, and it's opening up. And it's actually, as you said, we can go inward and go, oh, we made all these mistakes and we're such a bad person and we were stupid and we just curl up like a little snail. Or we can go, hey, we're human, we make mistakes. What can we celebrate today?
Love it. I love that. But also, the mistakes are how we grow and evolve. And we were banging on about that last night in Cosmic Consulting, weren't we, Michelle? Yes, we were.
Well, see, mistakes are okay. It's how we treat ourselves for making mistakes.
And how we overcome them and what we learn from them and whether we do it again. So we're going to say, we feel like you are ready. You've already felt the instinct that you were ready anyway. You didn't really need us to tell you that. However, it's nice to have the reassurance.
Sure.
Now let's see what's going on here. Claire, it's so nice to see you here. Sorry, Fiona, haven't been around. COVID finally got me. Kiss, kiss. Yeah. I haven't had it yet. I mean, I'm not going to get it either, according to my plan. And all right, let's just have a little bit of a looky at these lights. Michelle said it's either looks good both ways. We just can't see the vibrancy. It's a bit of a funny, sort of show you the beautiful bottles, guys. Oh, for those of you who haven't seen met Brenda before, Aura-Soma is a colour therapy system that allows us to be drawn to colours that are part of what we can use to open our awareness and be more of our personal best. So when we're drawn to a colour, often it's what we need to. Would that be a way of describing it? I really shouldn't be the one describing this. Brenda, would you like to do a better example of what Aura-Soma is?
It's always good about having someone else talk from their experience. Yeah, so it's a self-selective soul therapy through the medium of colour. So you're looking at the bottles, the beautiful bottles, and we'll just pull out this one. This is our newest bottle. It's gorgeous. Just made recently. Poseidon, bright magenta over lime green. It's all about loving and caring for ourselves.
Oh, the entrance. Should I take it closer up to the...
Yeah.
Yes.
Hopefully that's Hopefully
Anyway,
girls can see
Brenda
that.
is running a workshop next month, and workshop, do you call it a workshop? It's actually the stage 1 of a 3-part series that leads you towards becoming a practitioner of Aura-Soma, should you want to do that. However, the first stage is more about learning about yourself and how you can use these products and colour in itself to enhance your own world. So it's like a self-help system that, oh my goodness, I feel like I know it in my heart, but when I start talking about it, I'm not sure if I'm articulating it perfectly. It's an opportunity for you to add some goodness into your life and have a new way of nurturing yourself. And sometimes we just think we've got food and exercise and a few supplements and a massage here and there. But hey, why not try out a whole different alternative way of self-healing and self-soothing?
And it's called self-selective soul therapy.
There you go.
So
Let's launch into the collective conscious card. We want to know what we all need to hear right now. I'm throwing them all over the show. Wonder if this one's going to turn up again. Two cards. Because of the way I do it, I can hold the line, callers. We just want to get the best message for the moment. Please hold that one. Collective conscious card. This is the main event. What have we got? Oh, wowzers. But what do we need to know? If you're lucky, you've got two. Interesting message to the collective conscious. So this card is a very unsettling moment of conflict. It's a 5, it's the wands, and what happens here is often we have a lot of conflict. I find this card is more often than not within ourselves. So I find when I pull this for clients doing a one-on-one reading that they are having a lot of internal conflict. They're fighting themselves. However, it can be conflict in the external world. Now, 2 cards in this reading, because this is the issue and this is the answer, the solution to manage this. We need to come into an understanding that life is about ebb and flow, highs and lows. So this dude is a juggler. He is juggling the highs and lows of life, and in particular money in this instance. However, it's relative to any topic. When we can remember that the bad stuff happens to all of us. You can call it a challenge, a kerfuffle, a fiasco, whatever you like to call it. Any times we have that, if we can just embrace it and accept it and roll with the punches, we're not going to make it worse and go down the rabbit hole. If we resist the struggle, the challenge, if we start getting the hump like, why is this happening to me? Or here we go again, then we go down the rabbit hole of negative thinking. If we can say, hey, this is life. We have these twists and turns. Tomorrow may be a better day. This too shall pass. And I want to share another piece of ancient wisdom that I have talked about before. It's one of my favorites. And it's all about appreciation. When we are in a good times, it's easy to appreciate what we have and the people around us and the little things. However, when we're not having life go our way, it's easy for us to not be appreciative, right? Yet this is the crucial time to actually get into that mode. The ancient philosophy says something along the lines of, thank you, I have absolutely nothing to complain about. And what this means is you understand that everything is a teacher, and also that challenge holds the gift to more growth within yourself. But also being in appreciation mode raises our vibration, which means we are in an energy that oozes goodness, and then the law of attraction can take place and you'll receive more goodness back. So therefore, just being able to roll with the punches, the highs and lows, like this juggling act this guy's doing, knowing that life's supposed to have highs and lows. It's not meant to be a bunch of roses all the time. It's just how long you stay stuck in the low that can trick you a little bit. And if you get stuck there, then you're not working with the flow of your life. You've got to pick up the gift within the challenge. and not get sulky and become the victim to the struggle.
It's about it sounds a little bit boring, but it's about taking the tops of the highs and lows off and finding somewhere through the middle.
Oh, this is interesting, yeah.
So that you're not, when you're down, you're not way down, and when you're up, you're not way up, which is almost too heady. So in trying to find this, you still have amazing joy and happiness, but just sort of like the middle road or your sort of thing. It's just nice and steady, and then making space for those exciting, joyful moments, but also knowing that when you go down, when there's a dip, it's not going to last forever.
I think the important thing about the dip is to be self-compassionate and to not think you're doing something wrong. When we have bad days or things not go right, we can get mad at other people, we can get mad at ourselves, we can blame ourselves, we can blame other people.
The government or anyone.
Or anyone. And so the message here really, whilst it sounds like so obvious and like a bit of a basic 101 how to do life, if we understand that it's okay to have a bad day, and you're allowed to have a grumpy day as well, just as long as you're like being with it, as in perhaps it's how you want to feel. Just experience the emotion you're feeling without going into the story that you feel the emotion was stimulated by. And then you'll probably find that it's over in 30 seconds.
Exactly.
Because it's the stories that we tell ourselves about the emotions that actually make us feel crap.
And another thing that's really interesting, a lot of people are really worried about finances at the moment. Interestingly enough, more millionaires are made out of a recession than a boom time, because people get innovative. They work out new options and new ways of doing things. So
pivot.
Just if things are a bit tight financially, look at how you can do things differently. And if you can find a way that you can do things differently, maybe you can share, maybe you can sell that idea, maybe you can make something out of that idea.
Yeah, well, it did come up as the Pentacles. It actually came up as the Pentacles and the Wands, which blends your passion with the potential for money. So when you do have some conflict inside and things aren't going to plan with things that are regarding money, remember the fire inside. Remember the passion behind how you make your money. Remember what you started your business for, or remember what you want to achieve in the world on a greater level, how you want to serve the world. Get some meaningfulness behind your money-making venture, and then it will naturally bloom. That's how I feel about money. That's what happens in my business anyway. The more love I give, the more money I get. I don't do it for the money though. It's just the way it works.
No, it doesn't. I mean, money's just an energy. So.
Yeah, exactly. So and that's a really good point to make. Money is no different to love as a form of energy, and therefore, let it flow. As soon as we put fear in front of love and we're scared about meeting a new guy or girl, or we're worried about not making money, then it gets worse.
Well, it clogs up. Yeah.
Okay, let's tune into the next question. Naomi, should I move house or change city or stay put? If I should move, where to? Well, that's quite a big question. What we're going to do here is get an idea about, should you stay or should you go? Is it time to move location? And then we'll work on how to work out where that might be. I've actually got an idea of how we could do this. Okay. All this chit chat, I've got to just recenter each person, so just bear with me, thank you. So correct action to move location. Actually, that one's was the bottom. Not at this time. Not at this time. We don't need to go any further. Not really much you can ask about that, is it? Although, if you're feeling itchy and scratchy or wondering if you should move, it is kind of an unsettled feeling. So perhaps it's about feeling into being more grounded and getting your life plan, and not when it's a life plan, getting clear on what you want in your life as a whole, like set your intentions. What's the date today? We're coming up
17th.
22nd is the new moon, I think. Good day to set intentions. And rather than asking it's kind of like asking the symptom, should I move? Why don't you look at the bigger picture of the great experiences that you want in life, and then allow opportunities to present how those experiences may be explored, or ways that you could take the adventure in your life. Therefore, you may find that there's a shift, not necessarily a moving house, but a shift in your personal situation in your community that allows you to have more fun or joy or adventure or whatever is on your list of intentions to experience. Or you may get an opportunity to go overseas and see a friend for a wedding, or to go traveling with somebody, or to meet somebody in another part of your own country, and then the answer's already laid out for you. You don't really have to choose the answer. Does that make sense? Sometimes if you just know the feelings and experiences you want to explore as a human, the process will be presented to you with flow, rather than you having to work out what to do number by number.
Yeah. And I got doing something like a house clearing would be really good, space clearing. And
it's a great idea.
And just really coming back and into the space differently. Yeah, the timing's not right yet to move, and there's still, yeah, sure, you can go and move, but I think if you do, you'll be looking to move within the next 2 years again.
Wherever you go, there you are.
Yeah, that's a great title. And yeah, so start doing a space clearing, and you can look on, maybe we can put it on a link at the bottom of this. On my blog, there's the space clearing using Aura-Soma, but you can use bells and all sorts of things. I think there's different options there. So do a good space clearing as an energy clearing your space, declutter, and then tidy up what's going on in your life. I think it's a knee-jerk reaction.
Yes.
This wanting to move thing.
Let's talk about space clearing. I used to do a lot of house cleansing. I used to do it professionally. And in that time, I used things like white sage, Tibetan bells, Tibetan bowls, Aura-Soma, incense, essential oils, mindset, visualization. There's loads of ways you can clear the energy in your house. It's something that I personally regularly do because I have a lot of different energies coming and going through reading tarot one-on-one with my clients. However, if you use the Aura-Soma, what would be the dominant, how would you do it? Would you use something to cleanse the house using Aura-Soma and then plant a feeling back with a different Aura-Soma? That's what I would instinctively want to do.
So we've got Archangel Michael, which is really good for really heavy, drossy energy. I call it the ghost buster.
Oh, I like that.
If you've got big, sticky stuff like that. But just generally the white is really good, or green. Green opens up the space, so if you're selling the house, that's quite good because it feels like there's more space in the house. But then in saying that, interestingly, people, when they start using it and they declutter, they fall in love with their house again because they've, got more space, and the new beginning starts in the new house. New vibes,
freshened up the energy. You can change the vibes. I mean, this is what we work with, shifting, transforming energy. I do it on a subconscious level for people, but we can do it in spaces as well, of course. And it simultaneously affects one and the other. So, for example, if you use the Aura-Soma air conditioners in a room to cleanse the area, and you're actually in the room, then you're going to be affected by the change in energy in a positive manner.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Do you guys have any questions you want to ask today, or questions you want to specifically ask to Brenda, or maybe even about the course that's coming up? I know that a couple of you are keen to look into some personal training for your self-help and even some business opportunities for those interested. In the meantime, I'm going to launch into Justine's question. It's quite a big question, so we're going to work bit by bit. Okay, so this is how she's talking. I'm really concerned about what the heck I'm supposed to be doing financially. Well, here we go. This is what Brenda says is in the atmosphere at the moment for many people. She's stressed and she needs to bring in some dollars ASAP. Am I supposed to be working from home, or do I need to look for a job? We'll start with this basic aspect of the question before I launch into more of it. The question is your self-employment going to be sufficient for you to survive, or should you launch into a secondary payment plan for yourself, or income plan? Well, I've actually got a yes. You can earn enough doing what you do. Instinctively, I feel you need to get very clear on what that is. I've just got a couple of urges here. Yeah, I just thought this is not a full picture here. So the potential for you to make money doing your own business from home is very much there. The block is what you're focusing on, which is everything that's not going right for you. And this is creating very dark energy for yourself. Excuse me for being so brutally honest about it. You can see in this image, this person is depressed and worried and sad and focusing on the cups that have fallen over and not the cups that are upright behind him. Her. It's actually, I always think it's a him, but you know, I think it's a him because it's very heady. It's very, very focused in the worry. Become, what was the thing we had the other day? Something about become a warrior, not a worrier. That's what I think one of you guys on here, we had this in our session come up in a chakra card. Become the warrior of your life, not the warrior. And when you do that, you come into that goddess energy and you come into a high vibration, and then you attract the opportunities. It's the law of attraction. This is what we talked about all night on the Cosmic Consulting yesterday. If you want to join Cosmic Consulting, please check out my website, sirensoul.com/cosmic. Lots of goodness over there. Anyway, what was the thing I was going to do next? The follow-up question. Oh, do you want to ask that before I do the next part?
Yeah, so it's quite interesting because I've just worked with a client and I'm not a financial advisor, but she's got real money woes. And the first thing we did, of course, is look at where the money's going out. And she's already saving hundreds on her power bill just by getting them to review that. And really sitting down and saying, you know, a really strict budget for supermarket shopping, only going once a week, not 4 times a week. So there's different ways to, you've got to look at all angles, but looking at where the money's going out and then looking at how you can make money. And if you do need to go and get a part-time job, the rule of getting a part-time job is it's something you want to learn and something that's fun.
Right, yeah.
So is there somewhere you don't want to necessarily, I mean, if you have to, you put tins of beans on the shelves at the supermarket, but hopefully you can get a job where you're learning something or meeting people that are going to be interested in what you're working from at home. So you're increasing your network. So fun.
Yeah. And I've just pulled this Wheel of Fortune card because whilst we're using cards and colour, I have pulled some cards for Justine recently, and I'm really feeling that the opportunity is there for you to work for yourself if you get out of your own way and make the change. You have to do the great work with yourself to stop that freak out that's happening so often in your life, because yes, the opportunity is there. No, it's not flowing at the moment. So yes, it can happen. It is possible that you can, because you will then price your services correctly and you'll have some networking opportunities and allow it to unfold with excitement. But at the moment, you have to make change in order for your wealth to be flowing.
Yeah. And with pricing, price high and offer more.
Right, yeah.
So don't price low because you'll end up feeling really resentful. So price higher and then offer some extra bonuses.
Added value.
Added value all the time. And when you're anxious, you get stuck in your solar plexus. So then you don't think clearly, because yellow is all to do with your cognitive as well. So any of the yellow products, the yellow sprays are helpful, or just looking at yellow cutting some yellow flowers or something in the garden and putting them in your house and just breathing yellow.
Well, yeah, because that's the solar plexus chakra is the personal power.
Yeah.
That's how you come into your personal confidence, your inner strength. And in the tarot, the yellow is also your radiance. It's like, as I say, you imagine a sun being in your center, and you can imagine it in your solar plexus. Sometimes I use it in my heart area, and it's like if you're radiating the sun, your light is always bright, but we dampen our shiny bits with the clouds, and that's what that card looked like with that guy. And I say the guy because when I was talking about the head before, that's a masculine way of doing life. Think, logic. Sometimes we need to just come into our femininity to be able to mix the logic with intuition as well, and then we can use our own inner wisdom, which is linked to your solar plexus.
Yeah.
There we have it, guys and girls. Do you want to pull a card, Brenda, for yourself?
Oh,
Shall I pull a card for Brenda? That'll be fun. What about if you pull a card for me too? Or maybe choose a colour? Brenda, let's just see what Brenda needs to hear right now. Random. Are you up for it? I didn't prepare her for this, so I'm just totally throwing her in the deep end.
And then you can choose a bottle and we'll see what comes up for you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, now you're going to choose a nice card.
Okay, this is sharing intimate details about ourselves. Hey, sharing is caring, right? Brenda, what does Brenda need to hear right now? Oh, that was a bit intense. Oh, a new money opportunity. We're all about the money today. Potentially a new business opportunity or way to make money, a launch of a new idea that could be relative to your career. I'm not reading. I'm so used to reading on the screen. So the Ace of Pentacles, new beginnings, a fresh start.
Cool.
Like planting the seed. If you've got some new business ideas, now is a really good time. And do you have any new business ideas?
Always have too many, but no, that's good.
Relevant to what you probably know more about what this means to you than...
Well, it's quite interesting because all the money thing, and I need to work it out from a legal perspective because giving people advice about money is a funny thing, but I'm pretty good at helping people with money problems.
Ah, wow.
So, yeah.
Clearing, well, it's just, as we talked about, it's just energy flow. And of course, the Aura-Soma helps to clear stuck energy because anything that's in the way of us being our full potential is stuck stuff.
Exactly.
We just need to clear that flow.
It's just another energy. It's just, as you said, it's just like love that we've just got to...
I was quite drawn to the new bottle, I must say. I'm just going to have a quick... Sorry, I'm jumping the gun. It's my turn now.
Yes.
It's my turn.
I'll pull that down.
So I'm going to choose a colour that I'm most drawn to, and Brenda's going to interpret it for me in front of all of you.
Ah.
I am really drawn to that new one, but I don't know if that's just because...
It's new. People do.
I'm going to go with that. The new one, what number is it?
It's 122, so it adds up to a 5.
5, which is in the tarot, that's the Hierophant, and it's about our beliefs and values. So this will be interesting to see if it aligns with that.
And it is interesting because I did actually print the notes off on this one, just because it's new. And it's called Poseidon, so if you know about water and Greek mythology.
What is, explain that?
Well, Greek mythology, Poseidon is under the water.
Oh.
Poseidon gives us the opportunity to really care for ourselves, to love ourselves as completely as possible, giving us the opportunity and the ability to let go of that which no longer serves us. The bright magenta introduced here is a colour that's not previously seen in the system, and now it is linked to the other new colour, the lime green, which only appeared here.
This is very interesting based on a thought I had this morning, so I'll remind me to explain it. Yeah.
Through these colours, we're reminded that in times of difficulty, in times when we face the patterns of the past, we need to re-evaluate, and we need the intense support of the love from above, which is the magenta, as we practice putting love into whatever it is that we do. So it's almost a bottle for everybody, isn't it?
Very much encompassing what the whole world needs to remember at this time, which these bottles are really born with life events. You'll often notice that the new bottle comes out when something significant has happened in the world. But there was a really dramatic one for 9/11, wasn't there? It's a dark one. I remember this happening.
Yeah, this one here.
Yeah. And so what actually happened this morning? This is a really weird thing to say. I'm going to tell you the most random story, okay? So be prepared. It is odd. So I'm packing my bags to go and see Brenda today, and I'm putting my toothbrush and my shaver into my toilet bag. And last time I forgot my toothbrush, and Brenda gave me a blue toothbrush that she had in her cupboard. And I've got like a magenta pink toothbrush, a magenta pink shaver, and I'm really drawn to pinks and those reddy colours. And I thought, I kind of have colours for all of my friends. If I thought of Brenda, I would think blue and those kind of aqua-y colours. If I thought of my friend Renee, I think of lime green. When I think of my friend Joe, I think of purpley royal blues. And I have colours for all my friends. And I used to do this when I was an interior designer full-time. I used to ask clients, do you think you're more of a blue person or a red person? Because we tend to be on one side of the warm or the cool, and then I could work with like going more into the pinks and the soft yellows, or if they were more blue, like I'd go more deep into the teals and purples and that kind of hue. And that's how I just got a bit of a feel for their character. But it was something that I didn't actually think specifically about until I was packing my toilet bag today. And I thought, I'm always into the corals and the pinks and the magentas. And this is the thing, if you have a think about it in your own life, you have a favourite colour. Everyone has favourite colours, if not one in particular. And, tells you a lot about you. This is magenta coming up in a bottle that doesn't actually look like magenta, is still drawn to it. And to me, it looks more like coral or salmon, which is in the same category of what I always tend to buy stuff that are those warm colours.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Does this relate to Aura-Soma?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So in Aura-Soma, the philosophy is that you are born on a colour ray.
Oh, cool.
And so the bottles that you choose are interpretation of this moment in time of that colour ray that you're willing subconsciously to hear about at that time. So yeah, for you, it is about nurturing and self-care and love. That's conscious.
Yeah.
The lime green, the fun and the joy is a little bit more subconscious because it's in the bottom. And that's all the regrowth and the new beginning.
So this is really interesting. So the top is the conscious mind and the bottom is the subconscious mind. This is very relevant to the work that we do in Soul and Soul.
Exactly.
I have to ask, so do you think you're a blue person? Aqua-y blue?
Yeah.
Beachy colours?
Yeah, well, beachy. Yeah. So if you like, I wouldn't go so much with a dark blue.
No,
but
definitely
more
not.
of a turquoise and a clear blue. So alive colours.
Yes, I feel that. I got it right. Let's pull a random card for Michelle. She's put a request into the chat. Pulling it now for you, Michelle. And then we'll wrap it up. It's good to have you girls here and so nice to see you after so long. Claire, you are welcome anytime. There's no pressure to be here every week at all. Michelle, pulling you a card. Oh, Michelle, would you like to choose a bottle? We can't see them all right there, but you could just have a favourite if you were drawn to it from where you are now. I'm not sure if I can make that any better for you. You can see them now.
Tell us what you think.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. I'll get a card while you have a little ponder at those bottles. Or even tell us about your favourite colour. Oh, gosh, I keep getting really intense. Haven't really shuffled much today, have I? Whoa. What's she saying?
Don't know, can't read. I haven't got glasses on.
Michelle? Excuse me, guys, just doing my woo. Look, we often have these common denominators, don't we? Like tonight is all about money. This is similar to Brenda's card in the way that it could be the start of a new business venture. In this case, it's the Knight of Pentacles, and sometimes this is a card that represents a bit of plodding along, either something in its infancy, or that just be patient and allow yourself to get the practical, grounded aspects of the business sorted at this time. Actually, I'm talking to Michelle, so let's talk directly to Michelle. And I know that this is very relevant to you right now. This is very much about doing the groundwork, the base chakra. Base chakra, this came up in a session with you not long ago. Really getting the business grounded. So you know what that means for yourself. It's very practical in the scheme of work. And be patient with the process, because it still feels like absolute correct action. And the only thing that's holding up that from speeding up is the freak out, the frustration, the worry, as we've talked about before. Be the warrior, not the worrier. Be the warrior.
No, I just thought it's
not
a
the
7
warrior,
year, isn't it? It's a 7 year. 2, and 3.
Yeah.
So it's like a 7 year is all about our spirituality and focusing on our spirituality, not necessarily a big abundance year, as in finance,
right.
Big abundance. So it's a year of really settling down and being really spiritual and connecting back in.
That's also relevant to Michelle with her work. Teal, blue or orange, thanks.
Wow.
Well, you could talk about the colours. I'll see if I can find a bottle that is in fact both.
Yeah,
Speak away.
So turquoise, the teal is very much about that. You probably want to look at that one, maybe.
It's more red.
It is an orange though.
What about that?
Yeah, or coral and turquoise.
Oh, is that coral?
Yeah. It's Gretel. So turquoise is about it's the turquoise age, the new age. So we're moving into the age of Aquarian if you are into astrology. That's going from time as money to time as art. Time is about creativity.
Oh, I like
so it's less about survival and money, and so if you can, the more creative you can be, is really important. Interesting that you said orange, because the opposite to orange. The company orange is the coral. So coral is very much in relationship with the turquoise. So you can see that in here, the two colour opposites.
Opposite on the colour wheel.
On the colour wheel.
Complementary colours in interior design, if you want to know that.
Yeah, so they support each other. And coral is about finding your right place in the world, really, and offering your services to the world.
I didn't tell her anything about what you're doing, Michelle.
So that sounds pretty good for Michelle.
Yeah,
too.
definitely.
And interesting, orange and coral sort of go together, that if there's any shocks in the past, they help to tidy up the resonance of that shock in the causal body and the physical body, and therefore further out into the auric field as well.
Yes.
And they work together on that, orange
I always
and coral.
think of orange as the shock absorber.
It is.
And on that note, I have a weird question that I should ask off camera, but I won't ask now. I have the Humpty Dumpty, the rescue remedy. There's like you know how you have the rescue remedy drops that you can buy through the Bark Flower range that help with any shock or panic. You can there's actually a bottle in the Aura-Soma range called Humpty Dumpty, and because he falls off the wall and
so Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall and broke his auric shell, our auric egg, that's what's around us, and all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put them together again, but as Vicky Ward would say, Aura-Soma could.
Yes.
Yeah, so the breaks in our auric shell become like little leaking places, which our energy leaks out of. So we help, the orange bottle helps to fix that.
So I went to use the Humpty Dumpty bottle with a client the other day, and admittedly I've had it for quite some time and it had gone rancid because I hadn't looked after it. This is like years. I don't normally go off like this, sorry.
No.
But I wanted to know, do
yeah.
you think it was still effective even though it was a bit old?
Old can obviously, like, the older they are, the less effective they are over time. So if it's rancid, it's probably not the best.
Fresh
thing
is
to be
best.
used. Fresh
It's just
is best.
basic. I didn't even need to ask that, did I?
Yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah.
like vegetables, it's like life, it's like
Yeah,
anything.
So yeah, if it's rancid, don't use it, but you can still look at it. And then, like, depending how they're looked after. If they're in a cool space, they can last 5 years.
Yeah.
But if they're in the car in the sun, they might only last a day.
In all fairness, I've had this for about 10 years and it has travelled around in the wrong places. So as far as I'm aware, all the Aura-Soma I've used before actually gets used up far too quickly, so it will never have a chance to get old.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have covered a lot of ground. Thanks for being here and thanks for watching the replay. If you've made it all the way through, please give us 5 purple hearts in the comments so that we know we've got your love. Otherwise, you can always just give us a thumbs up. I look forward to seeing you here. Maybe in about 6 weeks, we'll have Brenda back on board to dive into more colour therapy for your soul, helping you to be your most awesome self using colour and the tarot. Lots of love.
One other thing they can do is they can look on our website and maybe choose a bottle beforehand.
Could do that. Aura-Soma, I think it's aura-soma.co.nz.
Perfect.
There you go.
We can put it in the list.
Ciao, guys.
Bye.